The Gambler by Fyodor Dostoevsky. The Gambler is a novel that explores the psychological effects of gambling, love, and desperation. The story is narrated by Alexei Ivanovich, a tutor working for a Russian family in a German resort town. Alexei is romantically involved with Polina, his employer's stepdaughter, who manipulates him into gambling to win money for her. As Alexei becomes increasingly consumed by the addiction to roulette, the narrative delves into his intense and chaotic inner world, depicting his emotional instability and moral dilemmas. The novel also portrays the dynamics within the family he serves, highlighting themes of power, societal decay, and the destructive nature of gambling. Through his descent into obsession, Alexei experiences both fleeting triumphs and profound despair, ultimately revealing the harsh realities of his compulsive behavior and the impact of his choices on his life and the lives around him. Let's deep dive into the book. Arrival at Roulettenberg. Alexei Ivanovich, a tutor to the children of the formerly wealthy general, arrives in the German resort town of Roulettenberg. He is secretly in love with the general's stepdaughter, Polina Alexandrovna. The general is waiting for news of a wealthy aunt's death to solve his financial troubles. Meanwhile, Alexei becomes involved in the complicated emotional games of Polina, who demands he prove his love by fulfilling her whims. The Gambler's beginning. Polina sends Alexei to the casino with a small sum of money to place a bet, hoping to win a significant amount. He loses the money and feels a surge of shame and excitement. Polina, dissatisfied with his failure, manipulates him further, deepening his determination to win for her affection and approval. Descent into addiction. Alexei's initial gambling losses turn into a desperate need to continue playing. He starts to gamble with his own money, experiencing the thrilling highs and devastating lows of the game. He becomes more involved in the gambling world, meeting other gamblers, and getting drawn deeper into the addictive vortex. The General's crisis. The general is tormented by his financial situation and his obsession with the wealthy Mademoiselle Blanche, who promises to marry him only if he inherits his aunt's fortune. His desperation grows as he awaits the death of his aunt, leading to erratic behavior that embarrasses him in social settings. Polina's desperation. Polina reveals her own despair and entanglement in debts. She confesses her vulnerabilities to Alexei, who is torn between his obsessive desire to win at gambling to help her and his diminishing hope for a mutual romantic affection. Their relationship becomes increasingly strained. The arrival of the grandmother. Unexpectedly, the general's aunt, known as the grandmother, arrives in Roulettenberg, alive and energetic. She goes to the casino and gambles recklessly, winning initially, but then losing everything she had won. Her behavior disrupts the general's plans and humiliates him publicly. Mademoiselle Blanche's manipulations. As the grandmother loses her fortune, Mademoiselle Blanche's interest in the general wanes. She shifts her attentions to Alexei, seeing him as a potential source of wealth if he can win at gambling. Alexei, however, is conflicted between his loyalty to Polina and the allure of Blanche's manipulations. Alexei's big win. Alexei finally experiences a significant win at the roulette table. With his newfound wealth, he confronts Polina, offering her the money and declaring his feelings. Polina, however, rejects him, revealing that she does not love him, and her interactions were manipulative to maintain control over him. The breakdown of relationships. Feeling betrayed and heartbroken, Alexei's relationship with Polina collapses. The general's situation worsens as he marries Mademoiselle Blanche out of desperation, only to be abandoned by her once her financial motives are achieved. The family disintegrates under financial and emotional strain. Alexei's isolation. In the end, Alexei is left alone with his fortune, which brings him no joy. He remains in the casino, gambling mechanically. His obsession with roulette continues unabated, symbolizing his complete surrender to the addiction. His story ends in isolation, surrounded by the casino's noise, far removed from any real human connection or purpose. Let's explore together the main themes and concepts of the book. The lure and peril of gambling. In The Gambler, Fyodor Dostoevsky explores the destructive power of gambling addiction. The roulette wheel becomes a central symbol, representing chance and the unpredictability of life. The protagonist, Alexei, falls into the depths of this addiction, which initially presents a thrilling escape, but quickly spirals into a consuming force. This theme reflects Dostoevsky's personal struggles with gambling, showcasing the compulsion, the temporary highs, and the inevitable despair as one's life becomes controlled by the whims of fortune, illustrating the broader implications of surrendering to one's impulses. Obsession and control. Dostoevsky delves deeply into the theme of obsession, not just with gambling, but also in relationships. Alexei's fixation on Polina exemplifies this, as he becomes increasingly desperate to win her affection and approval through any means necessary, including financial ruin. This obsession parallels his gambling addiction, emphasizing a loss of self-control and an overwhelming desire for approval and validation. Both aspects of his life are governed by an overpowering need for something unattainable, depicting the destructive nature of obsession and its ability to warp personal values and judgment. The corruption of money. Money and its corrupting influence permeate the narrative of The Gambler. The characters are often driven by financial desperation or the desire for wealth, which dictates their actions and relationships. The general, for example, eagerly awaits his aunt's death for an inheritance, while Polina uses Alexei to fulfill her monetary needs. This theme critiques the moral decay associated with the relentless pursuit of financial gain, highlighting how money can manipulate relationships, erode ethical boundaries, and lead to personal degradation. Power and humiliation. Power dynamics are central to The Gambler, with characters often oscillating between positions of power and humiliation. This fluctuation is vividly portrayed in the casino scenes, where fortunes can turn with a spin of the wheel, and in personal relationships, particularly in how Polina dominates Alexei. Dostoevsky uses these dynamics to explore the human condition, emphasizing how quickly one's status can change and the emotional and social consequences of such changes. This theme extends to a critique of social hierarchy and the fragility of human dignity under the pressure of societal and personal downfall. Alienation and isolation. Alienation is a poignant theme in The Gambler, as characters experience profound isolation despite being surrounded by others. Alexei, despite his interactions and intense relationships, ends up emotionally isolated, unable to connect deeply with others or escape his self-destructive habits. This theme is a reflection on the existential loneliness that can pervade even in crowded settings, like a casino or a bustling resort town. Dostoevsky portrays gambling as a metaphor for this alienation, where individuals are caught up in their own cycles of hope and despair, disconnected from meaningful engagement with the world around them. Let's talk about the author. Fyodor Dostoevsky was a Russian novelist, short story writer, essayist, and journalist, renowned for his exploration of psychology in the troubled political, social, and spiritual atmospheres of 19th century Russia. Born in 1821 in Moscow, Dostoevsky's works often feature complex characters and profound philosophical themes. His major works include Crime and Punishment, The Idiot, Demons, and The Brothers Karamazov. Dostoevsky's narratives frequently delve into issues of morality, free will, and the human struggle with sin and redemption. He is celebrated for his deep character analysis and has had a profound influence on literature, psychology, and philosophy. Dostoevsky passed away in 1881 in St. Petersburg. Sincere thanks for watching. If you found this summary helpful, consider taking a moment to hit the subscribe button, like or share the video. If you have any feedbacks or book requests, make sure to leave a comment. Regardless, I wish you a great day.